Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today, we have an amazing guest, one of my favorites. Oh, we have Emmy winner, Jeff Nimoy. He is a producer, writer, director, voice actor, and actor. Let's welcome Jeff Nimoy to the show. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm exhausted hearing after you read that long list of what I am and the work I've done. I'm exhausted. I feel like I've just lived a whole career.
Yeah, well, you do so many amazing things in our audience. We have a treat. He's in some of the most incredible shows ever in animation, anime. So I'm so excited. And Jeff, you've been nominated for 3 Emmy Awards in 4 years, winning once for your comedic work as writer, producer,
That's right.
voiceover director for NFL Films, presents on ESPN and Fox. But before we get to that, I want everyone to know where you're recording live with me today on Filmatics from.
I'm in my apartment right here in Studio City, California, a little suburb of Los Angeles. Not a suburb, just part of the city. And I've been in lockdown since for about a year now, and looking forward to summer. Being vaccinated.
Yeah, I think we're all getting zapped. And speaking of zap, one of my friends is getting all kind of awards with his a short film called Zap. So yeah, he's got so many awards. I think he's got like up to 30 awards now. But I want to ask Jeff. So before we even ask, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, is he related to Spock?" Can you tell us real quickly the story?
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy, the late Leonard Nimoy, was my cousin. He was a second cousin once removed. And if you want to read all about my long relationship with Leonard, I wrote an article that is out there on the internet. It's on Medium, I think, and it's called "The Other Nimoy: These Are the Voyages of a Second Cousin Once Removed." And it's a really popular article. It's not hard to find. Just Google Jeff Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy. It'll come up.
Oh, great. And so, Jeff, I wanted to ask you, since you do so many like cartoons, and was there a favorite film growing up as a child that you just loved?
Oh, yeah. Star Wars changed my life. It was a life-changing event for 12-year-old Jeff Nimoy. I mean, I had never had a visceral reaction to a film before. So it was really incredible. I saw it 13 times in the movie theater alone. And that's in the days where you could sit,
Lucky 13, you saw it 13 times. That's a lot of times to see Star Wars. But
It's a lot. You didn't have to pay for it 13 times back then. You could just sit, for as long as you wanted. They'd never kick you out of a movie back then. And then, I bought like the behind the scenes making of, and it really started my addiction to film, if you would, being a film addict.
And who's your favorite character in the Star Wars trilogy?
Oh, I think Han Solo for sure.
Yeah.
Han, that sort of anti-hero. I've always sort of related to that kind of a character.
Han Solo, what a fun character, right? And Harrison Ford is just the lines in the movie. From Chewbacca to C-3PO. And those characters were like, those are so fun. The robot, the little skinny robot, and then the short robot. And then the way
from a screenwriting standpoint, it's really the droid story. It's not Luke's story or anything. The first movie I'm talking about, it's told from the perspective of the droids, starting right from the main, title. The story follows them. So it's really interesting. That's why it's still popular today, 40-something years later. It's just a masterpiece.
Come on, R2-D2. Come on, C-3PO. I just so cute the way they were, like you're a kid. How could, it's a kid's paradise watching that. And the sabers. And my friend, he's a director, Ezekiel Martinez. He'll never let me live this down because I didn't know the color of the lightsabers. And he goes, "What color are they?" And I said, "Pink." So he will not let me live that down. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much.
You don't have to learn every little nuance to be a Star Wars fan. You don't have to be a crazy geek like some of us.
So thank you. Yeah. So as he's listening, he's like, ask her what color the lightsabers are. She won't know. So, and leading on. So after you watched Star Wars 13 times, was there a Criterion film that inspired your career path, or just inspired you so much watching it? Because when I watch those films, I cry, going, "Oh my God, they're so beautiful! How'd they do that?"
Well, I'll tell you, I got very lucky growing up in Brooklyn, New York, in the 70s when we had a lot of independent channels, and those channels showed a lot of old movies. What we considered old movies then, now they're classics. But, Chaplin City Lights, for instance, is a Criterion movie. It's probably the greatest ending to any movie. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it out there, but see it, It's just a tremendous movie, and the ending just leaves me in tears, like you were just saying, I'm just a puddle at the end of City Lights every time. But that's when you said, crying at the end, that's what reminded me of that in terms of Criterion. But other Criterion movies that really I loved, and the directors that made these movies really influenced me. Chaplin, which I've already mentioned, but Kazan with On the Waterfront.
Oh, what an incredible film.
Really, really amazing. And I read Kazan's book on directing, and I've sort of used some of the things I learned from him in terms of not really setting your shots in stone until you get to the location and feel the actual sense of the location like your actors are going to. In some of our cases, we're the actor and director. Another great Criterion film, Do the Right Thing, is, in my opinion, a masterpiece. Spike Lee. Lumet with 12 Angry Men. Lumet is, my style is probably closest to Lumet of any of the filmmakers I've studied. And I think if you are a filmmaker, you've got to study them all. Anyone with a real big body of work, you have to study. I've studied all these people, including another Criterion film, Seven Samurai, Kurosawa. I've studied all of his work. You have to watch a lot of film if you want to be a filmmaker. You have to be a film addict, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the fun is just seeing these incredible shots. I remember when I'm just a indie filmmaker girl, but I was doing my Stanley Kubrick shot, is what I call the Stanley Kubrick shot, when you push in slowly on the people, and it was the big reveal because it was an alien film. And the people don't believe there's an alien, and they're playing this game of cards. But we picked Scrabble, and the alien, they're push in there and they see the alien, and it's the three guys sitting there, and you push on them because the alien appears, and they're so stunned because they're just old backward people that just would never believe it. But I was so excited. This is my Stanley Kubrick shot. This is my Stanley Kubrick shot from A Clockwork Orange, And then of course the kids run out and open the gate, and the dog runs out, and you're like, I gotta go get the dog before the wolves get him or the coyotes. So yeah, independent filmmaking. Oh, it's a rough one. But so you studied all these great filmmakers. Wow, incredible.
Well, I think you just have to. It's one of these things, especially as a writer. I mean, you have to, just as a director as well, you have to sort of if you want to make a film, for instance, I made Famish, right? And, I had movies I watched that I wanted to sort of bring up the feeling of those films in some way. You know what I mean? I wanted to bring the spirit of those films to mine. And I had the cinematographer watch them, and, I had all the actors watch it as well. I mean, this is the style I was going for, and those films, they're not Criterion films, all of them, but It's a Wonderful Life, which, I've seen a trillion times, Christmas time, and Up in the Air, a great Jason Reitman film starring George Clooney, Arthur, the 80s classic starring Dudley Moore.
Oh, and, yes, Arthur, that was the best ever.
That's sort of been my style. A a very commercial style and a very funny style of filmmaking and storytelling, but done about really serious issues. Like in that movie, they were, serious issues were alcoholism and cancer and abandonment by family, all of these things, So that's sort of the what I was going for Famish. I'm talking about really heavy topics, but I'm doing it in a very commercial, fun, romantic comedy way.
So that's for the audience listening. So Famish is kind of like Almost Famous, but it's shortened to Famish, which is really catchy. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's about a washed-up voice director who rediscovers his fame at an anime convention.
Oh, yeah. Anime so huge.
And I've been to plenty of anime conventions, believe me, so it's pretty authentic looking.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting when everyone can get back to the Comic Cons and the anime conventions and to the theaters. Oh, everyone's going to have a good time. And then they're going to be like, stand back or don't stand so close to me. Everyone's probably singing that song. Don't stand so close to me. Did you get vaccinated? Oh my gosh, don't cough. So you talked real briefly about your favorite, some of your directors. And is there a favorite film shot that you'd like to share with us? Because it's, one of my favorite things, if you come on the show, is like, can you talk about directing and your favorite directing shots?
Yeah, my favorite shot has got to be the famous Copa scene. It's the long tracking shot in Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese, where it starts out on the street, on the sidewalk, and he just parks the car. Ray Liotta. It's their first date, and he just parks the car, and she said, "You're leaving the car door open like that?" He goes, "Don't worry, no one's going to steal this car." And they go, downstairs, through the back entrance, the side entrance, the service entrance, and they go through the kitchen and all the way up through the main floor, and they get a table set up for themselves right in front of the stage while Bobby Vinton is singing and just gives them a wink as they're being seated, right? And you think about all the art direction and motion and things that have to be set and ready to go for that one long, maybe 2-minute tracking shot. Maybe it's not even that long, but still, you've got to have all those actors, all the extras, all the art direction, all the costume, all working in tandem simultaneously. The collaboration is unparalleled in that one shot that the audience just sees go by and they go, "Oh, that was cute," But from a filmmaking standpoint, what's going on there, the coordination that's going on, that everyone hits their mark at the right time in one long tracking shot. It's amazing.
I wonder how many takes it took. I wonder if they got it in one take. Because if you're in the kitchen, you hit the buster or the chef.
I really don't know the history behind it. I should look it up. But I'll tell you, in Famish, I tried to do a sort of a ode to that. And I did a tracking shot. And it was really successful. But in editing, I just had to cut it because it really, in the end, it didn't serve the story. It was just me wanting to, give a little honor to Scorsese, but I had to cut it.
Because you know what? You were vain and you were vainish.
I was vainish.
And it wasn't good for Famish.
I wasn't so vain that I left it in the movie.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes you have to cut. Yeah, you want all those tricks and ponies. You're like, I want to do a wraparound shot, and I want a tracking shot, and I want a drone shot. And you're like, oh, I want a crane shot.
Today to do that shot, they just do a long tracking shot through green screen, and they do it all in post.
Oh, so do that now in green screen and then post?
They can, yeah. People are wearing, the special CGI dots all over their faces, and you just create it all later on, But there's something so magical about real filmmaking,
Yeah, that's why I love, I hold my hat up to the pioneers, the originals, the people from the black and white film days on film, which was so expensive. And now everything's green screen, post, yada, 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 magical. So, and leave it to the editors and post and special effects. But just, something that those directors that were able to do these, amazing film shots that we all love and just they're stunning. Yeah. And, but like you said,
another great shot you're reminding me right now is in Casablanca when when Rick first sees Ilsa and the camera just zooms onto his face and he just sort of, his lip quivers slightly, his jaw maybe clenches for a millisecond, but you get all the emotion right there in that one shot. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and just you could tell like I can't wait to see your film because anyone that loves films like this and loves shots like that, they're going to be an incredible director, incredible storyteller, And so I want to ask you, so we've talked about directors and film shots. So where did you grow up, and how did you start your path to your career?
Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, as I mentioned before. I went to NYU, Tisch School of the Arts, and I was studying acting at the time. Uh, I came out to Los Angeles right after graduation, and I pursued an acting career. And just doors, certain doors open, certain doors close, and voiceover seemed to be a path I just kept getting hired for. I just kept following the money, pretty much, Marilyn. And I went through that door for voiceover and writing and comedy. I was doing a lot of improv comedy with a lot of the people from TV's Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I was just, I got a job at NFL Films doing this crazy thing where we would take away all the sound and put in a new comedy soundtrack, replacing what the players did. And it was a real success for NFL Films, and that's where I won the Emmy Award. And then Fox Kids saw all that stuff we were doing, and they're like, we've got these Japanese cartoons. Can you do the same thing here? And that became Digimon and led to a big anime career. But the funny thing is, all I really wanted to do was write and direct independent movies, pretty much. I wanted to be sort of an Albert Brooks type, that sort of thing. And just my career just kept going on for like 50 years like this. Not 50, I'm only 54. But, it went on for 25 years. And then, suddenly I got very sick. I'm not going to bring the room down because obviously I'm fine. You can hear the bounce in my step, in my voice. But I had a brain tumor. I write about it a lot on my blog. You can find it all later if you want. But I survived the brain tumor, and I was just tired of asking for permission anymore to make movies. I was just done asking for money from a studio or, an attachment from a director or an actor, an A-list actor. I just was like, I don't care if it's a big movie. I'm just going to make a movie. And I did. And, I made it on a shoestring budget, but I got an international distribution deal. So how bad could it be?
Yeah. So Famous is where can our audience look?
It's on video on demand, really everywhere, wherever you rent a movie. Amazon, if you rent a movie from iTunes or Apple TV, or whatever. PlayStation is doing very well on PlayStation because I have so many anime fans. It's really everywhere, and people can just go to jeffnimoy.com for everything. All my information's there. Famous. All roads lead from jeffnimoy.com.
Oh, that's great. And so what we just got to tell people, the anime community knows you for the popular character Wolfwood from the animated series. Trigan, can you give us a little Wolfwood?
Yeah. Well, actually, Wolfwood is actually my own voice. You're lucky, I know you're not a big anime fan, obviously, but Wolfwood sounds like me. It's on Hulu, actually, right now, if anyone wants to watch, as well as Digimon, which is the show I'm most famous for. I was the writer, director, producer. I wrote and directed the movie, and I played Tentomon, Digivolve 2, Filmatic Mon.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Oh my gosh, he's got to meet Lady Twizzleton from Enchanting Book Readings podcast. Oh my gosh. That is so cute. No, I love anime. I even have a Facebook page for anime. So I'm just I've been doing like 5 podcasts, writer, director, producer. I'm a one, doing a lot. Like when it rains, it pours in Hollywood. It's like there's nothing, and then there's a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I love cartoons. I love doing voiceovers. But you're like the real deal working. I mean,
you do have a great voice. I want to tell you that.
Oh, thanks. Well, the kids love it. And I started doing these little cartoon characters. I thought I was alone, going to die in COVID alone. Probably Rash would eat me because I'm by myself. And I just started entertaining myself, make little mini cartoons. And I had no idea anyone listened to it. And every week it'd be like #1 in USA, Australia, Canada, Japan, Korea, #3 in Italy. That's my hometown. So I kept reading to the kids because I knew the kids were depressed and it was important. So I just kept on writing, directing, producing, voiceover, acting. And it would take 15 hours to make one episode. So it's a lot of work because everyone's like, I want to do that. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. But speaking of, we got to get to something else that you do. You do several other popular Cartoon Network series, including Naruto and Bleach. And you adopted Stitch, The New Adventures of Stitch from Lilo and Stitch for Disney Channel, right?
Oh boy. Yeah, I had to learn a whole language to write for Stitch.
A whole language. Can you give us a little bit of that?
Well, I don't do Stitch as an impersonation, thank goodness. But when Stitch was talking, it wasn't just some improvisation by the actor. In this case, Ben Diskin. He had lines that we wrote for him, and they meant something to Stitch. And we also wrote in parentheses what they meant, what he was supposed to be saying.
Yeah, because I remember David Boxerbaum. I don't know if you know him, but he's not a big agent, literary agent. But I have I had a Zigu Fairy Tales Do Come True, which is at Amazon. He's like, wow, you're so creative. Yeah, this movie just came out. Kind of reminds me of your script. And I go, well, one day Disney will call me. One day somebody will call me. Meantime, I see other people just working and cheering them on because we enjoy stuff when I have a time to watch anything. But I want to get also. You also produce and direct a web video for audible.com starring one of my favorite comedy people, Billy Crystal, to promote.
Yeah, that was it. To promote his autobiography, Still Fooling Him, it's called.
Oh.
And it was great. I mean, I got to direct Billy Crystal, pinch me. It was amazing.
I'm going to pinch you, little crab hands, a SpongeBob. SpongeBob, crabby. Wow.
I wouldn't say I was nervous, but I was anxious for sure. I am a huge fan. And, when you're someone's boss, though, you can't sort of gush all over them. You know what I mean? There's a protocol to Hollywood sometimes. And he just never really, he was very professional and friendly, but not, like, hey, let's come over for dinner. But
like Italian dog, come and eat, have some coffee, some espresso.
We talked baseball and pizza most of the time. So,
baseball and pizza.
Which is what I would talk about with anybody, really.
Oh, so who's your baseball team?
I'm a New York Mets fan.
New York Mets all the way. So are we even in baseball season? Because I'm a girl. Like, I mean,
it's coming up.
It's coming up. So woohoo! Oh, we have the Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers. I do know that. I do know Los Angeles Dodgers. We have. So
Judges. Yes, Dodgers, correct.
Yeah.
We have a second team here in Southern California for 10 points. Can you name it?
Oh gosh, Angels.
Correct.
I've been in my little cubby hole the whole time, except for walking my dog to the park, my husky. But so we have to ask you a little bit more. Jeff, you produced a series of TV and web commercials for Walmart's Holiday Hub campaign, starring Anthony Anderson and Melissa Joan Hart. Aww.
Yeah. We don't have to go through my entire resume. But
yes, we do.
Yes, we do. A lot of different things. Now we've gone from anime to sports to
pizza
commercials. to web series, web commercials, and what's next? What else have I done? Film, TV.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
are
ex-
you developing a pilot, a TV pilot? So what have you? What during
I am
COVID?
right now.
Yeah. See, I'm a psychic like that. Intuition. So you're developing
Uh,
a TV sitcom. Is it going to be comedy? What genre?
it's actually an original anime series. Would be one of the few American anime film series.
That's right.
Anime. Yeah, and it's going to be also a manga at the same time, which is a Japanese comic book. And it's going to be a whole. We're launching a franchise. It's a lot of work, so
Oh, that's
it's a lot.
what is it
Yeah.
based off a comic book? You said.
It's going to be. We're going to launch the whole franchise. Most of these animes that I've worked on, these anime series, they start simultaneously as a comic book and a TV show, and the story sort of runs simultaneously to each other.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because it's anime is really huge. There is can you explain it a little bit for the people that might not be too
Yeah,
familiar?
it's just a Japanese style of animation. The ones that really made it popular over here in the '60s was Speed Racer, Go Speed Racer, Go Speed Racer,
Oh,
and Gigantor and Kimba the White Lion. But in recent years, you know, all these great films have been um, influenced by anime, like The Matrix and things like this. It's just a style of animation that has certain things built into it, like a father-son fight, and all these things that go on in the genre. It's too long of a genre to explain, but it's its own thing. And there's, like anything else, there's comedy and there's action and there's sadness and there's happiness and there's everything. It runs the gambit.
yes. And so you're developing the comic book now, right? Or is the comic book
It's a comic book anime series simultaneously, a television series, an animated series.
Oh, so you're gonna make the series and the comic book at the exact same time?
Exact same time with the exact same story.
Oh, and then where could somebody like how do they, get to buy a comic book from you? Like they would just go to Jeff.
Oh, we're not even at that stage yet. They'll
Oh,
probably buy it where they buy their usual stuff. This isn't going to be self-published. This is going to be on somewhere big.
oh, okay. So but they can keep up with you at jeffnimoy.com, right? To see what you're
That's
working on.
right.
Yeah. Is there any other social media that you want to share, or that's just the main one?
Well, you can get to everything through there. You can get to my Facebook page, and you can get to Twitter, and you can get to Instagram. I'm just, I'm everywhere. I'm not hard to find.
Yeah. And do you have any funny stories you want to share with us on anything that you worked on that you just, was something just fun and memorable?
Well, I almost had a heart attack at the beginning of Famish.
Oh,
I don't know how
what?
funny. Not a real heart attack, no, but a production heart attack. Where the first day, the first night we got there to Madison, Wisconsin, where we filmed on location at a live anime convention, it was the biggest flood in Madison, Wisconsin history.
What?
And
Oh
they
my gosh.
closed the airport as soon as we landed, and all roads were closed. And as soon as we got to the hotel, they closed the street in front of the hotel. So everyone who was in the hotel had to be stuck in the hotel, and people were sleeping in each other's rooms overnight. And the next day, I'm supposed to film at the airport, and I also have I have actors coming, more people coming from Los Angeles, and the airport's closed. And sure enough, here comes the morning. The road opens in front of the hotel, and the airport opens as we get there. And my actors land, and we're able to film. It was such a miracle, really.
Oh wow. Well, I want to just remind everyone of the movie because you had a brain tumor, which is
Mm-hmm.
like and something that is like something very difficult to get through, but obviously you got better and you made your fantastic film. And I just want to
Thank
just so that everyone will go check out your famous film. and it's being submitted to festivals. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today, Jeff. You are spectacular, and special person.
Thank you so much. It's not being submitted to festivals anymore. That's an old press release.
Oh, okay.
You're taking that from. It's available on video demand everywhere right now.
Okay, so check it on Amazon and Apple and all the streaming platforms. And just thank you so much for being on the show today, Jeff. You are spectacular and amazing.
Thanks, great to be here. Yeah, keep watching films, everyone.
Yeah, and thank you so much to our beautiful audience for tuning in. Until next week, cheers, stay healthy, and if you've supported the podcast, we really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.